Hey everybody, welcome back to another movie review. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Just been a lot of movie reviews, just not much news that we can really discuss as just a lot of movies. And it's pretty usual this time of year, being that we're in the holiday season and obviously the awards season. Lots of films are just finding their release in some form or another, either that being theatrical or in this case, streaming, particularly through Netflix. The film being The Wonder, which is directed by Sebastian Lelio, I believe that's how you say his last name, whose most notable work was a film called Gloria Bell. Two of them actually. One of which I believe was a foreign language perspective, and then he then remade his own work with Julianne Moore, which is the film I saw, which I particularly liked. Um, and the reasoning for remaking it was because it didn't have a it didn't reach a North American audience, which is find to be very odd. Just the idea of remaking your own work is very fascinating, very egotistical, I would say. But you know, but The Wonder tells a story. It's a period piece, and um, stars Florence Pugh as a fairly troubled soul who is dealing with many hard emotions, and he has a very heavy past, as suggested throughout the course of the film. There's suggestions towards her having a child and a husband, and being involved in a war. So she is partially also a veteran in many cases, and she is tasked because she is a nurse. She is tasked by um, a committee of people to watch over a child who supposedly has not been eating for 4 months. Which obviously anybody who hears that would go, it's fairly fascinating. Um, and the film explores what is essentially an impossible task, um, which is um, to watch um, to watch delusional ideology and seeing what happens when such delusions take over, um, and what the outcome of said delusions are. It's particularly through this child and this particular family who are engulfed in this religious belief, particularly through Christianity. Um, and Florence is being the voice of reason throughout the entire film, as she is begging, basically, at one point to the family, um, to see reason, to see actual reason, which is that the child is, going to die at some point. This child is going to die. It's not she. Maybe yes, she might go to some place. Maybe she might do this or that. But the real element, the core of what is happening, is that she is dying and that she needs food. She needs to survive, um, and Florence, through that, starts to wonder, how is this possible? How is she able to even survive for all these months? And she comes to find her own revelations, and within discovering her own revelations, she herself also falls to some form of delusional ideology as well. The difference between her delusional ideology and that of the families and this particular child's is that hers comes from a rational place, albeit also very much so from emotional, from a traumatic type response. She's uh, reacting very emotionally, um, but her instincts, her reasonings for why she is doing what she does towards the end, is very rational and very understanding, um, even if it is also fairly delusional. Um, So I felt it was very interesting thematically speaking. This exploration of delusional ideologies, and seeing it from one irrational perspective, and then from Florence's perspective, this growing rational perspective that is still fairly delusional. It's not something that is you know sensible. There is um, there is a point where you look at Florence's character and you say, okay, this is actually kind of crazy what you're about to do. Um, but at the same time, understanding her character and following her character throughout the film, you get a very well-rounded understanding as to why she does the things that she does. Um, so I thought thematically it was just very interesting. Obviously, you can chalk it up to science versus religion, but I felt that it did a very, especially with one particular aspect that I thought was interesting, which was this, this idea within religion having like um, kind of a beyond like quality where you could see things beyond human comprehension. And there's this point where the film begins with what is essentially, breaking the fourth wall, but um, and kind of addressing the audience and saying like, okay, we're going to present you a film called The Wonder and all this sort of stuff. But when getting into more of the story, you understand that what the film is doing is presenting a technical presentation of that said theme of this delusional ideology of being able to see beyond a sense of rational understanding, which is basically just becoming insane, um, and just falling more and more into illusions um, and I think that technically speaking and also visually it's quite breathtaking. Some of the production itself just looks very very nice and properly isolated, I must say also. Um, I thought it was a solid exploration of themes, and I thought that Florence was also good. I don't I'm not big on Florence, to be honest. I mean, I appreciate her work. I think that she's a very capable and committed performer, but I am not particularly like wowed by her performances. I know that some other people are, but I'm just not personally one of them. Um, but I felt she did good work here. I felt it was engaging work, but I was more interested by what the film was exploring and how it was exploring it through its technical achievements and also just visually. And also, it has a very, very ominous atmosphere to it, which I think very plays to these ideas very, very well. Has this like mysterious, especially with its score, it has this very like odd like quality to it. Um, Again, like a lot of it when it a lot it plays a lot to the idea of again to this idea of delusions. Um, I must say though that once you do figure that out, I do feel that the film um, at points does feel a little bit of a drag, especially at the beginning where there's a lot of time to develop things and not really do things, and I feel that there should have been more time for things to happen versus having to explain a lot of things. But I felt that beyond that, I felt that it was very solid, and for the most part, it was fairly engaging. But I just feel that it maybe could have been, maybe things could have happened a little bit quicker, for my particular taste. Not in the sense that like, that the just like I'll put it this way: when we got towards the end, there was more of a progression I felt in the story, where I felt in its first two acts, I felt that there was just a lot of time to tell us suggestions about the character and other things and developments that I felt could have been addressed in more paceful manner, I guess. So, but but it's solid. It's solid. It's a solid piece. I can't say anything more beyond that. I can't say it's great. Like I said, it does drag at some points, but it's thematically what really keeps you engaged. And from a performance, it's also fairly good. So fairly solid work from The Wonder. Um, so that's my thoughts on The Wonder. You guys let me know your thoughts. Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Um, and that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, we got more reviews coming. I'm telling you, just plowing through, and more reviews will be on the way. And that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.